Evening all. Just got in from work. It's just gone midnight again. I never seem to get in before midnight. So I was thinking today about obviously this channel has brought up since I've been doing this channel, it's brought up a lot of memories from the early days of my recovery. And I was thinking today about those first meetings that I went to, and one of the things, I mean, it's like anything. It's like any new situation, new job, or anywhere you go new for the first time. You do feel a bit like sitting in the corner and staying out of everyone's way. But you are encouraged to speak if you want to. You don't have to. You never. This is the thing, with AA that I try and explain to people quite a lot, because I know from talking to people that it's a barrier to them sometimes going there and getting the help that they really need. But one of the things that puts them off is the feeling that you've got to commit to paying for something or agreeing to something, or signing on the dotted line somewhere. But there's none of that. There's just none of that. You turn up, as and when. If you don't want to go to a meeting, you don't go to a meeting, and if you do, you do. It's there. The only money you will pay is for tea and coffee. Like there's a collection goes around. Pay a couple of pennies, a couple of quid for a bit of tea, coffee, and biscuits, and that's it. Anyway, what I was thinking about was none of that. Actually, I'm just waffling again. What I was thinking about was how it was for me speaking, right? I used to sit in that first meeting that I used to go to, which was about 40 or 50 people most nights. And, I went there 4 or 5 times a week to that specific one. And I just used to sit there and I try and place myself in positions where I didn't have to speak. Or maybe they'd run out of time before they got to me, because I hated speaking in public. Not because I've got any ego or I'm better than anyone, or it's nothing to do with that. It's because whenever I'm quite a shy person, which is why I'm an alcoholic, or it's one of the reasons the alcohol was so important in my life, because it gave me confidence. When I'd had a drink, I could do anything, speak to anyone, do anything, life and soul, all that business. But without it, I was a shadow, a shadow of my other self. And so when I did have to speak, what I noticed was that I'd get very nervous, and I could sort of talk for a little bit, but I'd get to I'd kind of, when you feel like you're coming to the end of what you're going to say. And every time I came to the end, I could feel myself starting to cry. And it wasn't crying because I was sad or upset or even in an emotional state. It was because because I was anxious. It was pure anxiety and sort of nervousness, and it just for some reason made me always want to cry. So I hated speaking. But the important thing is this, and it is important. This is why I'm sort of speaking tonight quickly. The way AA works is that you can listen to somebody else's story, right? You can hear somebody else's story and what happened to them, what they did, the good, the bad, the ugly. You'll hear all of it, and you'll identify with stuff. You'll sit and listen to people and think, I did that, or I do that, or that sounds like my upbringing, or whatever it is that you identify with. That's how it kind of works, because you feel like you're not the only one, right, for the first time in your life probably, you will feel like you're not the only one. And that's really important, because I think we all do. I think we all think that, us alcoholics, I think we all tend to think that it's just us. You know, we know that there are other alcoholics in the world, but none of them are like us. You know, we're special. And, you know, they couldn't possibly understand what we've been through, all that kind of business. But you will find very quickly how connected, how close, how similar our stories are. You were always told at the meetings to look for the similarities, not the differences. And I think that's really important. But this is the reason why it's important to talk. Because if you listen to somebody's story and it helps you in any way, even if it keeps you sober for another day, then what about when somebody listens to your story? What about when you, just by telling your story, you get somebody else sober for that day, or for that week, or for the month, or for however long it might be? What if you kickstart someone's sobriety by telling them your story? So, if you do go to a meeting, which I hope you do, obviously, because I'm a kind of, you know, I'm a really staunch advocate of Alcoholics Anonymous. Some people aren't, I know they aren't, but for me it worked, and that's why I'm here, to tell you how it worked for me, and that it's worked for millions of other people, and it can work for you, and maybe to sort of take a bit of the mystery out of it, and, you know, the unknown out of it. You know, if you can sit and listen to me waffle on, and it gives you the confidence or the courage to just walk in the room for the first time, even, you know, even if it's just once, and you don't go back for another 2 years, then you may have heard something that day that brings you back eventually. And like I've said in previous films, I mean, you know, I went to my first meeting at 16, and I ended up giving up sort of entirely for this 15 years when I was 39. So, you know, because, you know, I wasn't ready for whatever reason. I hadn't reached rock bottom. But I don't want to go off track too much, and I don't want to talk for too long, because, you know, the longer I talk, the less relevant it will be. But yeah, look, it's really important to talk at the meetings, only because by sharing, you're going to potentially save someone's life. And I know that sounds like a really extreme thing to say. You know, it's again, it's this kind of, I don't want to come across like oh God, we save people's lives, we're so amazing, because I don't mean it like that. I mean it in the very simplest of terms, that I heard stories. Somebody somewhere in this world spoke at one of the meetings I was at, and their story and their experience helped me stay sober, right? And it will be the same for you. And what better way to pay back, you know, if you get your sobriety, but you also help somebody else get theirs? Do you know what I mean? So, you know, if that's one of the things that's maybe putting you off going to AA, the fear of talking, the fear of, you know, some people say they worry about, you know, making fools of themselves by telling their story, but I promise you, I swear to you, there is no judgment in those rooms, because we're all the same people. Anyway, before I do just waffle on far too much, I hope you have a great weekend. If you're in recovery, I hope you stay strong, and you know, get through another day. And if you're still thinking about it, just take the first step. You know, that's the only advice I can give you. It's the best advice I can give you. Take the first step. Follow the link. Ask questions. If you've got any questions that you want to comment, you know, just comment. Drop me a comment. The more comments I get, the better it is for me to understand what people who are watching the channel want to know or want to talk about. That would be really handy for me. But yeah, there'll be a link to the AA website, and find a meeting and go, or talk to somebody on the phone, or I think you can do online meetings now as well since COVID. So whatever it is that works for you, make it work for you, and try and get out of the situation you're in. Hopefully, still very new to this, so sorry if I'm all over the place again, but I'm sure I'll get there sooner or later. It's a daunting task to try and talk about something. Maybe I need to start writing a script. I don't know. I don't think that'd work. Anyway, all the best. Hope to see you again. Till next time.